Richmond still on a stunning unbeaten run, which has lasted 16 games, and that hasn't been bettered by any team across England's top 6 divisions. Although going off Boxing Day's action, perhaps it's a bittersweet 16 for Hampton and Richmond, as they were denied a stunning turnaround win by a last-gasp equaliser in what was a thrilling 3-3 draw at Arbour Park. Mel Gwinnett's men will be determined to put that disappointment right in the second part of the double-header for the visit of Slough Town. I'm Jackson Cole, and alongside me today is Jonny Luter and Lyle Anthony Golding. How are you both?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you, Jackson. Yeah, no, new year, 2024, new year, new me, but still same old here at Hampton and Richmond.
Yeah, pretty good. Had a really relaxed New Year's Eve, so looking forward to getting to watch the Beavers today.
And yeah, hopefully Mel Gwinnett's side also had a relaxing New Year's Eve, because there's a task at hand today. I'll take you through the team news now. 3 changes from the team that drew 3-3 at Slough on Boxing Day, including a first start for new signing Dominic Revan. So the full team is Adam Desbois in goal. Then it's Jordan Thomas, Luis Fernandez, Ben Seymour, Jake Gray, George Hunt, Dan Wishart, Shane Dunn, Isaac Piplado, Mason Bloomfield and Dominic Revan. The substitutes are Rory Donaldson, Rob Hall, Alfie Whittingham, Sam Dreyer and Joshua Anafoos. As for the visitors, you've got Dan Lincoln in goal, then the captain Josh Jackman, Dan Bayliss, then Jinmao Prosper, Matt Lench, Nathan Minhas, Leon Siparion, Scott Davis, who is also their manager, more on him later, Tammy Awika, Munash Sundaya and David Ogbonna. The substitutes are Joe Dandy, Gary Abisugun, Slavi Spazov, Tyrese Dice and Ollie Spicer. The referee today is Abigail Byrne, and her assistants are Oliver Kaya and Luis Nunez. So, I think first of all we'll talk about, it could be a change in system for Mel Gwinnett's men this afternoon.
When you're looking at the lineup in particular, it could be either a 5 or 4 at the back in reality, because of Isaac Piplado. He's been really our jack of all trades this season. He's played some centre-back, some full-back, some midfield. So with him playing, it could easily see the Beavers drop into a back 5 with him either at left centre-back or left wing-back, and Dan Wishart tucking inside. And you saw, especially in that Western Supermare game, in the first half, it was a bit tough for us when we played with that 4 to cover the wide areas, because they had their wingers so high and wide. And when we switched in the second half to that 5 at the back, it really gave us a better platform to build on. So I think that maybe, based on how the Slough Town come out today, it could see us switch between either a 5 or a 4. But I think either way, it's a really good set of players that we have going out there today.
I know Mel Gwinnett said in his Gwinnett's Minutes after our 3-3 draw at Slough Town, he wasn't necessarily making like-for-like signings to replace anyone. He was signing different players so we could play in different systems. So maybe we'll see that today. Who knows? We'll only really know when it's kickoff and all the players are in their positions. That's the only time you can really tell. Well, one of those players who made a good impact when he came on against Western Supermare, which was on December the 23rd, Dominic Revan. As I said earlier in the broadcast, this is his first start for Hampton and Richmond. And yeah, what are you most looking forward to seeing about Dominic Revan? I'll put that question to both of you.
Yeah, well, no, obviously the loanee signing from Barnet, you know, this is his first start for Hampton and Richmond this afternoon as we kick off 2024. I think this is just a really good opportunity just to see what he can do. You know, in this Slough Town fixture, we've obviously played them on Boxing Day, so this will be a really good opportunity for Dominic Revan to show us what he's all about.
Yeah, and I think that in that Western Supermare game where he came on late on, I think he got about 10 to 15 minutes on the pitch. You could see immediately that he's a centre-back that loves to take the ball and carry it, drive through the midfield. He's also extremely physical, really quick, really strong. So I think that he's definitely going to be an addition to this squad. Obviously, when in previous games we've had Isaac Piplado play at centre-back with Luis Fernandez. I think Dominic Revan, obviously a more natural centre-half, built, strong, like I said, good in the air. So it'll be good to see how he fares today.
Yeah, and he was whizzing down that wing when we just needed to get the ball in the other half. We were under a lot of pressure by the very attractive playing style of Western Supermare. I thought we could now just reflect on Boxing Day's action. None of us were actually at the game at Arthur Park, but I was glued to my Twitter account as I made my commute to work on Boxing Day. I mean, it's just incredible that I thought, okay, finally we are actually going to lose a game for once, but in the end it was pretty disappointing to not win.
Yeah, I think off the back of that, it just goes to show what level the team really is at the moment. You know, from coming from 2-0 down to get it to 3-2, but then unfortunately conceding right in the 95th minute, which was a great shame. But it keeps that unbeaten run going, and I'm sure the players would have actually been bitterly disappointed to not come away with the victory there. But you'd like to think today, I think Hampton and Richmond are going to try and put this right.
Yeah, of course, and I think especially in that game at Slough Town, there was a bit of wariness about our play when you saw that maybe it was us being on 3G, maybe it was just a bit of fatigue, but I think Mel Gwinnett will be adamant with his players today that this needs to be a better performance, because he saw in his post-match interview that he wasn't exactly pleased with how he played. No. So I think we're going to see a really good response here. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, a little word on the away side this afternoon. Scott Davis, their manager, is starting the game today, which is pretty rare in football, especially these days. And well, you have to look at the likes of Kenny Dalglish, who was the player manager at Liverpool. Vincent Kompany did it before. I think it was well, one of the Belgian clubs where he started out. Anderlecht, I believe it was. It didn't last very, very long because I think he's had quite a lot of injuries in his time. But yeah, I guess it'll be interesting to see how Mr. Davis gets on this afternoon.
Yeah, and I think it must be a challenge, you know, to as the manager, and also choosing to start yourself over somebody else. So that dressing room, you could argue at times, it might be a bit of a tricky one, because as you're the manager, you're obviously picking that starting 11. But if you're choosing yourself over somebody, that's a pretty bold move. So I think that dressing room could certainly be an interesting place to be at times. But obviously Scott Davies, as we know, a few Hampton and Richmond fans may know that Slough Town did go through to the first round of the FA Cup and played Grimsby Town, and they held them to a draw at Arbour Park, and it was Scott Davies who got that goal that that allowed them to progress to the repeat game in Grimsby, where they sadly lost 7-2, Slough Town did. But Scott Davies, he's certainly a talented player.
And manager, I can just imagine that conversation in the manager's office. Gaffer, why am I not playing? Well, because I want to play. Anyway, I think, well, we've got Braintree, just looking ahead, we've got Braintree on Saturday afternoon. But after that, it's the big one for Hampton and Richmond. Hartlepool away. And, well, Jonny, you've already booked your hotel in Newcastle the night before.
Yeah, I've booked my flights. I'm flying with British Airways straight up there on the Friday night. I'm going to make a full weekend of it. And I think, I'm sure there'll be plenty of Hampton and Richmond fans doing the same. It was my dream when I started following Hampton and Richmond many years ago to fly to a non-league game of football, and it really is coming true. All thanks to Hampton and Richmond and the quality that we have in this team, and just it's just going to be such an amazing weekend, I think. And obviously Hartlepool, and they're in pretty bad form, I believe, and they've just sacked their manager a day or two ago. So it's going to be a really interesting fixture for Hampton and Richmond, because obviously the FA Trophy, the final obviously is played at Wembley. So this is an opportunity for Hampton and Richmond to keep progressing in the Cup against a Hartlepool United side that are really bang out of form at the moment. So that will certainly be a really interesting weekend, and obviously a lovely opportunity for the fans of Hampton and Richmond to make the journey all the way up to the northeast.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be a very good day out, and who knows, maybe it will be more glory for Hampton and Richmond. Just over 5 minutes until kick-off at Beverley Stadium. Just before the players come out, I thought we could talk. We're just over the midway point in the season. I thought we could talk about what our hopes for the second half of the season are, because obviously we're in very good form at the moment. 16 unbeaten for Hampton and Richmond. And Joshua Anafowo's, when he signed, he said, I want to get promoted, and that's the first time I heard that mentioned at the club. So I don't know, can we start talking about that?
I mean, I'm with Josh. I'm not gonna hop on and say that we're gonna get promoted yet, but I think that's the mindset that it's good that the players have, and it's the mindset that I think Hampton and Richmond fans should have as well. The aims of this club and the motivations that we have are to be aiming at that top of the table. And I think for this year, we should definitely, at the end of the season, be in and around the playoffs at the very minimum. I think this run of form that we've been on, the teams that we put out, and the way that we play, is really, really positive, and there's such a good feeling around Hampton and Richmond at the moment. So for 2024, for me at least, I'm looking forward to some playoff football at the very least.
Yeah, and echoing exactly what Lyle was saying there, and just, at around the Christmas time, New Year's Day period, if you look at the table, typically a lot of people like to say that's roughly where you can expect your team to finish. So Hampton and Richmond currently in second place, 10 points behind Yeovil Town. I mean, that is going to be a really tough job for Hampton and Richmond if they are to close that gap. But obviously we did manage to get the draw away at Yeovil Town, so who knows what could happen. But Hampton and Richmond holding themselves in second place at the moment, you would certainly like to think that playoffs is a really realistic outcome for this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, there's only one automatic spot for promotion up to the National League, because of course the National League South and the National League North go on side by side. It's atmosphere is building at the Bev.
We're not letting you off, Jackson. What are your hopes for 2024?
I thought I was going to get away with that. Does anyone care what I think? Well, I mean, I think I'm going to echo what you say. I think it'll be a bit disappointing if we don't get into the playoffs. And once you get into the playoffs, you never know what happens. But I think a very important thing Hampton and Richmond do is they finish the season strongly, even if they finish second. But if they go into the playoffs in bad form, typically that means that those teams tend not to go up, even if they finish higher than some of their counterparts. Anyway, as I was saying about the atmosphere, it's just building ever so slightly. Plenty of faces inside Beverley Stadium. Plenty of Slough fans. Full credit to them, because it is a bit of an earlier kickoff. But it isn't the longest journey from Slough to TW12.
And if I may just mention one thing as well, obviously, as many Hampton and Richmond fans will know, that Hampton and Richmond are currently in joint with Southampton for the best form in the top 6 divisions of English football. And I did have a little look at who Southampton faced today on New Year's Day. They are away to Norwich at Carrow Road. So a tough fixture for Southampton. So potentially, if Hampton and Richmond get a result here today and Southampton weren't, does that mean we're the best team in the country? I think it does.
Well, I think
I have to agree.
Champions League, World Champions, Premier League winners, Manchester City might have one or two things to say about that, but it's certainly a nice soundbite for
someone clip that quick.
Anyway, both sets of players are on the verge of making their way out onto the pitch. I'll take you through the team news once again for the away side, Slough Town. You have Dan Lincoln in goal. Then it's Josh Jackman, Dan Bayliss, Jean-Mal Prosper, Matt Lench, Nathan Minnis, Leon Siparior, Scott Davis, Tammy Iwika, Munash Sundar and David Ogbonna. Substitutes are Joe Dandy, Gary Abisugun, Slavi Spazov, Tyrese Dice and Ollie Spicer. As for Hampton and Richmond, it's Adam Desbois in goal, then Jordan Thomas, Luis Fernandez, Ben Seymour, Jake Gray the captain, George Hunt, Dan Wishart, Shane Dunn, Isaac Piplado, Mason Bloomfield and Dominic Ravan. The substitutes are Rory Donaldson, Rob Hall, Alfie Whittingham, Sam Dreyer and Joshua Anafoos. Both sets of players are now on the pitch. Hampton and Richmond are wearing their navy blue strip with a little bit of a twist as well. So it's a navy blue shirt, navy blue shorts and red socks. Looks actually quite good on them. As for the away side, they're wearing sky blue strips, and it's sky blue shirt, sky blue shorts and sky blue socks.
Well, I've got the same jersey on, everybody, if you can just see there on the older camera there. So no, I think it is my favourite shirt out of all three that we have, but yeah, no, it is a very good looking shirt.
Certainly mine too, but my one is in the wash at the moment, so unable to wear it today. Yeah, no, I should have done it over Christmas, but yeah, you just get a bit lazy over the Christmas period.
And you're certainly hoping Hampton and Richmond will not be lazy in today's fixture.
No, not at all. We're just waiting for kickoff to happen. Jake Gray is leading a final warm-up with his teammates. And of course, as I'm starting to do before every match I'm commentating on, what are your score predictions for this afternoon?
I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Hampton and Richmond.
Okay.
I think it will be a win for Hampton and Richmond with a two-goal advantage. So there's always a chance we might concede. So I think I'm going to go 3-1.
Okay, you took my... Oh, I'm not going to avoid the prediction this time. That was what I was thinking, Johnny, but I want to be a bit different now. I'm going to go for 4-1.
4-1?
Yeah, 4-1. It'll be one of those games where Hampton and Richmond get a couple towards the end. That's what I'm predicting.
But, I mean, certainly you cannot take anything away from Slough Town at all. I mean, they did put an absolute performance in on Boxing Day against us, and I think there's every chance Slough Town are going to have a really good game this afternoon.
Yeah, they're in a good run of form as well, so.
Absolutely, absolutely. And obviously, one player that's very worthy of note is the goalkeeper, number 24, Dan Lincoln. Those of you that watch the YouTube series, Bunch of Amateurs, will be very familiar with Dan Lincoln, as he was in that Dorking Wanderers side that featured many a time on that YouTube series. So I think a lot of us will know that he's pretty good in the goal.
Mm-hmm. Just a few things about the away side today. Slough Town, they've won 4 of their last 6, and they're actually on a 12-game unbeaten run at home. So Hampton Richmond are very close to ending that on Boxing Day, and it will be the Beavers who get us underway. Shooting towards the Keith Hussey stand in the first half. Ben Seymour is stood over the ball. Referee conducting her final checks. And away we go. Hampton and Richmond against Slough Town on New Year's Day 2024. The ball is with Jordan Thomas making a marauding run down that right-hand side. He's tackled by number 6, Prosper. Clearance is blocked by Jake Gray, so Hampton and Richmond have it back, although Slough have cleared it away. Louis Fernandez hooks it back into the mixer. Jordan Thomas is going for it. He's beaten to the header. Shane Dunn with his first touch of the afternoon. Just a bit of head tennis going on in that middle third, and a bit of a breakdown in communication between Ravan and Dunn. The ball is on the right-hand side now, but it's drifted out for a throw-in to Slough.
I just want to say already, from minute 1, Hampton and Richmond have started very quickly.
They certainly have. They've started with real purpose, but obviously it's very early stages at the moment, so no chances to speak of at this point, as the throw-in is now taken. Ball is now at Isaac Pitblado's feet on this left-hand side. Dan Wishart is on the overlap. Instead, he goes back to Luis Fernandez. And now Dominic Ravan has the ball. Plays it across to Pitblado, who doesn't quite control it, so now it's drifted out for a throw-in to the away side.
Lyle, just looking at that formation.
Yeah, it does in the initial part of the game look like it's a 3 at the back with Dan Wishart just tucking in. You see Pitblado leaning over to that left side, and obviously Jordan Thomas so far in these opening stages has been really high and wide on the right. So interesting to see how it goes as the game progresses.
Yeah, Dan Wishart, usually a left back, so it'll be interesting to see how he does in this more conservative role, with Pitblado playing a bit more advanced than him. Ball is now with Prosper. He plays it back to Bayliss. Ball clipped long down the right-hand side. Dan Wishart is there to win the header ahead of Ciparion. And that's a long ball played towards Ogbonna, but Dan Wishart should get there.
Oh.
Some appeals for a free kick. Referee does allow play to go on. Dan Wishart was the one who collided with Ogbonna.
I just think Ogbonna's got to get in the weight room a bit there, because he's just been absolutely bodied off it by Dan Wishart.
Which we've seen many times this season. Dan Wishart is one of the most physical players I've certainly seen at this level.
Yeah, I'm sure if there was a strongman competition in the National League South, Dan Wishart would be right up there. Anyway, here's Isaac Pitblado, who throws it back to Wishart, who returns it to Pitblado. Wishart has the ball again, just inside Hampton and Richmond's half on the left-hand side. Plays it across to Fernandez. Travels into the Slough half. Tries to find Jake Gray, but the pass is intercepted by Lench. A few tackles flying in. Hampton Richmond do have the ball with Shane Dunn. Tries to clip it down to George Hunt. but it's intercepted, so Slough are in possession again. Bloomfield hassling the Slough man. Now Shane Dunn plays it to Bloomfield. He's tackled well by Lench. Now is Davis, the player manager. A lovely piece of skill to get away from George Hunt. Another brilliant piece of skill to get away from Bloomfield. He can play the boss, and then he clips it out to Jackman. Plays it to Sundyer, who's tackled by Dan Wishart, who's been in the thick of everything defensively for Hampton and Richmond in these opening 4 minutes. That's a bit of a stray pass by Lench, and it's out for a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond, deep into the Hampton and Richmond half.
Yeah, just as things have started off here, Hampton and Richmond playing with a lot of energy and a lot of intensity, and some good passes being made already.
That throw-in was taken by Jordan Thomas, who celebrates his birthday tomorrow. So many happy returns to Jordan when that happens tomorrow. Hopefully he can celebrate his birthday early with a nice 3 points. Ball is played down the line, but it goes straight out of play for a goal kick to the Beavers.
I suppose one good thing about the team that we've put out today, Shane, obviously George Hunt and Jake Gray, all extremely technical players in that midfield. So those three, when they can get on the ball, they'll be able to look into those channels, get our high wing backs in behind. Obviously Ben Seymour is tireless with his running as well, so could be.
Yeah, just look at the position Ben Seymour is drifting into at the moment.
Long ball by Adam Daybar to Bloomfield. It was met by a Slough head. Shane Dunn winning the 50-50 there, but ball only going to Slough's left back, number 6, Prosper. He plays it back to Lench. Now it's with Tammy Iwika. Plays it outright to Jackman, the captain. Oh, that's a bit of a loose touch by Jackman, and Ben Seymour is onto him. He's surely fouled there by Jackman, and yep, referee has awarded Hampton and Richmond a free kick about 15 yards into Slough Town's half. Shane Dunn tried to weigh up the options, overtaking a quick free kick, but decided against it.
Yeah, already first opportunity here from a set piece for Hampton and Richmond. Good opportunity to get it right in the mixer.
Coming up to 6 minutes at the Bev, it is Hampton and Richmond 0, Slough Town 0. But Fernandez and Bloomfield and Dominic Ravan are all heading towards the penalty box as Jake Gray clips it in, aiming for Fernandez. Doesn't win the header. It's headed away only partially to George Hunt, who slightly overruns it. And then his attempted pass to Jordan Thomas isn't as accurate as he would have liked. So Hampton and Richmond did surrender possession. And then the ball has now gone out for a throw-in to Slough Town. George Hunt, of course, an ex-Slough player, and in fact he's played in the Slough side that beat Hampton and Richmond 4-1 at Arbour Park back in December 2021. And Hunt is still yet to taste defeat while playing for Hampton and Richmond, so something of a good luck charm. And before you touch wood, I've mentioned that a few times on commentary, and it's not jinxed anything. So there's a bit of a collision there between Ben Seymour and Iwika. The referee just having a little bit of a word with some of the players, but nothing further. So it is a goal kick to Slough Town.
Yeah, it was just a bit of pushing and grabbing in the box, which you do get quite often here in the National League South.
Anyway, Dan Lincoln, the YouTube star himself, is taking the goal kick. Pit Bilardo's the one who meets it, and then Bloomfield up against Davis. Jackman boots it high in the air. Shane Dunn meets it, tries to pass to a teammate, but it's given away to Lench, who's tackled well there by Jordan Thomas. That was a good show of strength by Thomas, who then clears it, and it was not a million miles away from us up at the gantry. I hope he wasn't aiming for us, JT. Anyway, the throw-in has now been taken. It's back with their Slough Town goalkeeper, Lincoln. Clips it towards Prosper, who's beaten to the header by Thomas. So it is another throw-in to the away side. Be taken by their left back, Prosper, about the midway through Hampton and Richmond's half. Throws it down the line. And yeah, it's number 9, Nathan Minas, who is penalised for a shirt pull on Jordan Thomas. So Hampton Richmond have themselves a free kick, and it'll be taken by Adam Desbois, whose birthday, he celebrates his birthday on Friday.
God, you are the birthday man, aren't you?
There are a few birthdays in the Hampton and Richmond squad this week, so...
oh, and how could we forget Jake Gray, born on Christmas Day?
Yeah, Sam Deadfield's birthday was on the 27th. Desbois pumps it long, it's headed away by Slough. Not a great pass by Lench to Prosper, and then Prosper just hoofs it, well, almost slices it out of play for a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond, deep into the Slough Town half on the right-hand side. Mel Gwinnett just helps the new ball along to Thomas, who's got Bloomfield and Seymour in support. And he uses Seymour, who plays it back to him. Oh, Thomas is well tackled there. But Hampton and Richmond have themselves another throw-in. Oh no, so they don't. It came off a Hampton and Richmond player last, so it's a throw-in to the away side.
Yeah, and as we come up on 10 minutes here, neither side has really gotten the ball on the floor and began to play just yet. It's a bit stop-start, a bit of long balls here and there, so maybe not too long before we see either one of these teams attempt to take real control of this game.
We are having a brief stoppage. Munesh Sundar is having a change of boot. Still not got them fully on. And in fact, that throw-in by Prosper has been given, well, it's now Hampton and Richmond who have a throw-in because it was illegally taken. So it's Jordan Thomas about midway into Slough Town's half. Throws it to Bloomfield. Thomas has it again. Shane Dunn just dispossessed there, but Davis gives it away to Fernandez. Now Thomas with a bit of a loose pass, and the ball is played long towards Ogbonna. Wishart is there to mop things up, but now Pitblado has the ball. His attempted through ball to Seymour was well intercepted.
Oh, just a bit sloppy at the moment.
Yeah, this game's not really settled down yet. 10 minutes on the clock, still 0-0 between Hampton and Richmond and Slough Town, and no major opportunities to speak of, but Slough looking to create an opportunity themselves. Lench has gone down and won a free kick. Isaac Pitblado penalised by the referee. Pitblado and Luis Fernandez adamant that there was no contact there, but this is a free kick in a fairly dangerous position for the away side.
Yeah, first set-piece opportunity here for Slough Town to try and test the goal-saving abilities of Adam Desbois.
And it's Lench who's stood over the ball.
Got quite a few big bodies in the box here, Slough.
Yeah, the likes of Prosper and Iwika.
Dan Bayliss as well.
Yeah, number 12, Ciparion. Ball is whipped in, aiming for number 5, Bayliss, who did win the header, but Fernandez was there to clear the loose ball. Slough Town have it on the left-hand side with Prosper. Got away from Jordan Thomas, but Shane Dunn was there to bail out the Hampton and Richmond right back. So now is Ciparion. He might get a shot away.
Oh,
takes the shot. And needed Adam Desbois to save it. The ball is still alive with number 16, Iwika. Plays it back to Prosper, who clips it in, aiming for Bayliss. He does get his chest on the ball, but he lets it run to Ogbonna. Now it's Lench. Looks to clip it in. 1 or 2 appeals for a penalty there, but I think the ball quite clearly hit Shane Dunn on the chest. It is a corner kick to Slough Town.
Yeah, good opportunity there for Slough Town, but Adam Desbois diving save to keep the ball out of the back of his net. But Hampton and Richmond just starting to come under a little bit of pressure.
Slough Town fans also starting to find their voice here.
Yeah, Slough kicking towards the Alan Simpson OBE stand in this first half. Lench is the one who's stood over the ball. And he whips it in. It's a deep corner. Oh, it's a volley by Sundar. More penalty appeals. Again, the referee waves them away. Sundar will look to cross it in. It's headed towards goal by number 9, Minas. And it's actually still in play. It was, I think it was number 16, Iwika, who was trying to get onto the header across goal by Minas. Play is still alive. Well, it's volleyed. Oh, and another appeal for a penalty. It did look like it may have struck Mason Bloomfield on the arm. No penalty, and in fact, Hampton and Richmond have themselves a free kick. That was a very hairy passage of play there.
Yeah, Slough Town fans absolutely infuriated that they couldn't get a penalty from that situation. But I think it was very difficult to... I mean, they didn't look like penalties to me, but they were. The ball did look like it was coming off the chest of a couple of the players, so potentially from that angle you could have said they might have seen something, but the referee saw nothing in that at all. But Hampton and Richmond just dealing with that pressure as Adam Desbois gets us underway once again.
Desbois plays it long, aiming for Bloomfield, who has arguably survived a penalty decision being given against him. Now it's with Fernandez, just inside Hampton and Richmond's half, plays it out left to Wishart, clips it, aiming for Bloomfield, but it's straight into the arms of the Slough goalkeeper, Lincoln. Coming up to 15 minutes, still goalless between Hampton and Richmond and Slough Town, but Slough just having the better of the play over these last few minutes. Long ball played towards Ogbonna, doesn't quite reach him and goes out of play for a goal kick to Hampton and Richmond.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes or so has been all Slough Town. They have put a lot of pressure on the defence of Hampton and Richmond, but the Beavers just doing enough to keep the score level.
Yeah, Desbois a couple of minutes ago having to get low down to his right to make a save, to deny a shot from the edge of the box. Now Hampton Richmond are on the attack, and a ball played by Jake Gray to Bloomfield did touch the midriff of Bloomfield, but he couldn't quite take it in his stride, so Slough now have the ball back. And now it's a ball played to Minhas, which he controls on this left-hand side. Dominic Ravan is standing him up. Minhas still has the ball going down that left channel. He has Lench in support, and he uses him. Lench then crosses it in, headed away by Thomas, and it's now with Jake Gray, the captain, but he's well tackled by Scott Davis. Now Lench has the ball in a central area. Now it's on the right with C. Pariol, headed away by Fernandez. Lench has it again, about 10 yards into Hampton Richmond's half. No options going forward, so he uses Bayliss instead. Now Davis has the ball, clips it out right to Jackman. Isaac Pitblado intercepts it, and then he's given the ball away, trying to find Mason Bloomfield, but the ball is now at the feet of Jake Gray, who has space to run into. And he plays out left, an intelligent pass to Isaac Pitblado. Pitblado still on the ball, trying to find Ben Seymour, but I don't think Seymour anticipated the pass down there, so the ball is now with the Slough Town goalkeeper.
And that bit of play from Jake Gray was one of the first times in this match that the Hampton players received the ball in the middle of the park and just sort of calm things down initially and tried to string a couple of passes together. It's been really, really, really sloppy at times for Hampton.
Long ball played towards Ogbonna. It's dealt with by Ravan, though, who hoofs it towards Bloomfield, who should get there, under pressure by Bayliss. And that's pretty good defending by Bayliss, who dealt with the bouncing ball and the tall frame of Mason Bloomfield. More good play by Bayliss, who has the ball, though he's dispossessed by Jordan Thomas, who now plays Ben Seymour in. He's not got a lot of support, Seymour, so he's going to have to check his run, looking to find Mason Bloomfield, but he's tackled by Prosper. Now is Shane Dunn. Oh, that's a good pass by Thomas to Seymour on the right-hand side. Very well-timed challenge by number 16, Iwika. Oh, I thought it was a pretty well-timed challenge by the Slough Town number 16, but the referee has decided to give a free kick, a matter of centimetres outside the box on the right-hand side.
Maybe in that occasion it's less about winning the ball and more about the veracity of the challenge, because he did go diving in on Ben Seymour. Maybe the referees deemed it a bit of dangerous play, but I did think as well as you, Jackson, that he caught a bit of the ball there.
Anyway, this is a good chance for Hampton and Richmond to test Dan Lincoln. Yet to really do that so far. It's Jake Gray stood over the ball. Fernandez, Bloomfield, Ravan, Pitblado, they're all in the box, as is Hampton Richmond's Fox in the box, Ben Seymour. Jake Gray takes a free kick. Oh, it's a good header away by Bayliss. Only as far out as Shane Dunn on the edge of the box on this left-hand side. Plays it across to Jordan Thomas in a central area. He returns it to Shane Dunn, who crosses it in. Headed away by Lench. Jake Gray will be the one to retrieve it on the right-hand side. Oh, and he's well tackled by Sundyer, who has the ball in space. Yeah, that was not what he was looking to do. He tried to bend it with the outside of his boot, but instead he passed it straight to the feet of Adam Desbois.
And he had 2 players up with him, and he, in all honesty, Dan Wishart had begun to drop off a bit. If he just continued to carry it, he could have had more opportunities open up, but he's gone for the super pass, and it's let him down massively.
Tried to do the sexy pass. If he wanted to pass it, probably should have used his left foot, because that's more likely to have found its intended target. There's a bit of a wasted clearance by Desbois. Just went straight out of play for a goal kick to Slough Town.
Yeah, it's very much been, I'd say Slough Town have had the best opportunities so far, but Hampton and Richmond just then with the free kick from Jake Gray. First real opportunity for Hampton and Richmond to try and get their noses in front.
Well, Hampton and Richmond don't have the best record against Slough. They've played each other 31 times, Hampton and Richmond winning just 8 of them. 10 of them draws, one of them coming just a few days ago. Here's Mason Bloomfield trying to make a run, but he has been flagged offside, so it is a free kick to Slough Town, a couple of yards outside of the Slough box.
Yeah, I think also what's nice to mention as well, I think the National League, with the scheduling of the fixtures, with the Boxing Day and the New Year's Day fixture, both being for us against Slough Town, so a real helpful one in terms of away day travel and putting the pressure on the players, because obviously, as you know, the Christmas period is a time when everyone wants to be with their families, so I think it is also really good to see when the scheduling works out in your favour like that.
A few animated protests from the Slough bench as Fernandez collided with one of their players. I think I saw Scott Davis, the player manager, trying to calm down one of his members of staff, which is a bit of a weird dynamic there.
It certainly is, but I must say, I think Scott Davis is one of the better Slough players at the moment. He's made some really good passing, and well, I think you can see why he is the player manager.
It's a throw in to Hampton and Richmond, about 20 yards into Hampton and Richmond's half. It's on the right, so it's going to be Thomas who throws it down the line. Bloomfield helps it on towards Hunt, headed away by Davis. There's a bit of a loose touch by Shane Dunn, so it's a throw in to the away side. It'll be taken by Prosper. Tries to find Lench, but Jake Gray wins the header. Scott Davis pounces on that loose ball. Now it's with, well, there's a few meaty challenges coming in there in a little pocket of the pitch. Eventually it's played out to Prosper. Checks his run on this left-hand side and looks to play it through to Minas, but it's a bit too overhit. Adam Desbois takes his drop kick quickly. It's controlled by Ben Seymour. One or two protests for a free kick, but I think it was just a bit of an accidental collision there. Slough are now on the attack with Ogbonna. Dan Wishart is standing up to him. Good skill by Ogbonna. He'll get the cross in. Well cleared away by Luis Fernandez, but it is another corner to Slough Town.
Slough Town still applying that pressure on Hampton and Richmond. Another opportunity from a corner kick for Slough Town to try and put themselves 1 goal to the good in this first half.
Yeah, about midway through the first half. Hampton Richmond 0, Slough Town 0. Slough are looking the more likely at this point. And Hampton Richmond have a corner to defend. It's Lench who takes it. Oh, it's headed by Bayliss, and Well, it went pretty harmlessly wide in the end, but he was in all sorts of space, the Slough Town number 5, and did get his head on the ball.
Dan Bayliss, really tall chap, so he's a real aerial threat in the box there. That's one Hampton and Richmond have got to try and keep quiet as best they can this afternoon.
Yeah, more or less a free header for Bayliss, and as well as being tall, it was a fantastic leap from him to get up to the ball, but luckily for the Beavers, that went just wide. And I think this is one of the games where you see that it's so unfortunate that obviously we've lost Sam Deadfield for a couple of weeks with a broken nose, but this is one of the games where Sam Deadfield in that midfield just has that extra bit of composure to get his foot on the ball, stick a couple passes together, but we just haven't had that at the moment.
Yeah, that's a very good point you raise. Lyle Deadfield getting that broken nose on Boxing Day when Hampton Richmond played against Slough at Arbour Park. And Hampton Richmond actually finished that game with 10 men, as Mel Gwinnett had already used his 3 substitutes that afternoon when Deadfield got his injury.
And obviously, back to what I was mentioning earlier, you know, around the Christmas period, the scheduling of the fixtures, as much as they have been kind for Hampton and Richmond, with the games being so close.
There's a crossfield ball by Fernandez aiming for Pip Blado, who did win the header, but it went straight out of play for a Slough Town goal kick.
But obviously, at the Christmas period, you know, the games do come thick and fast. Western Super on the 23rd, Slough Town on the 26th, and now New Year's Day, another game against Slough Town. So the game's really coming thick and fast at the moment. So it's a really tough time in the season for the players, because this is really a point when it just goes to show the stamina of the team.
Headed forward by Fernandez to Seymour. Seymour's in now. Oh, and Seymour's put it wide. Oh, a massive opportunity for the Beavers, and Seymour's actually down on the ground. I think the Hampton Richmond players are arguing that Lincoln collided with him illegally. Seymour looks not in the best shape. He's holding his right side there, so he will get some treatment, but while he receives that treatment, well, what a massive chance that was out of nothing for Hampton Richmond.
He was absolutely clattered into by the keeper. But it was a big header from Louis Fernandez, and sort of both centre-backs got caught between themselves. Neither one really went for it, and Ben Seymour was away in behind, and really and truly with the keeper bearing down on you, there was really only one option for Ben Seymour, and that was to take it on first time on the half volley, and it was inches wide, so close to another Ben Seymour goal, and we can only now hope that he's going to be okay to continue.
Yeah, 13 goals this season for Ben Seymour, and well, let's hope this knock he's suffered is not going to be a bad one, but he looks pretty uncomfortable at the moment. He's on all fours at the moment as he receives some treatment. He's slowly but surely making his way to his feet, moving very gingerly at the moment.
Yeah, but that is why Ben Seymour is in the top half of the Vanarama National League South top scorers. He's only got a few players above him that have scored more than Ben Seymour, but in that instance there, that is precisely what Ben Seymour can do. So alert to the ball, reads the game so well, and had a fantastic opportunity there for Hampton and Richmond.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to see if Seymour can carry on. He scored Hampton and Richmond's second goal in the 3-3 draw against Slough on Boxing Day. As I've said, 13 goals this season. That's in all the competitions. 11 in the National League South this season. Yeah, Seymour just moving slightly more freely, but still holding what looks like the right side of his back. And play does continue. It's with Mason Bloomfield. He gives it away. And then Scott Davis is tripped over there, so Slough have themselves a free kick, and Ben Seymour has made his way back onto the pitch. Still not moving brilliantly, but
still holding his back there, Jackson.
Yeah, so we'll keep tabs on Seymour. Anyway, the free kick has been taken, headed away by Fernandez. It's now with Matt Lench on the right-hand side. He crosses it in. It's headed by Minas, and it's a good catch by Daybar. Was straight at him, but another opening there for the away side.
Yeah, Slough Town are having a little bit of joy in front of the Hampton-Richmond goal at the moment, but Adam Desbois is doing enough to keep them out.
He pumps it down the right towards Jordan Thomas, but it's just a bit overhit, so it's gone out of play for a goal kick to Slough.
And I'll tell you what, that's one of the first times in this game that we've seen really a Hampton and Richmond player try to get the ball in behind one of our wing-backs. And when you have wing-backs in these positions, Jordan Thomas at times is playing level with the Slough Town left-back. Obviously, Isaac Piblado on the other side. You have them up that high so that you can use them. And we've been kind of reluctant so far to sort of try and get in behind, because Jordan Thomas has had a couple of occasions where he's in loads of space on the right.
Yeah, he's made a positive start to the game, Hampton Richmond's number 2. And he's on the ball right now, about 10 yards into Hampton Richmond's half. Shane Dunn is shown in support. He's under a bit of pressure, so he knocks it first time towards Bloomfield. It's just a bit too high for the Hampton Richmond striker. But it is a throw-in to the Beavers with Thomas, who's got Gray and Bloomfield in support. Just a bit too high for Bloomfield, and Slough clear it away. It's booted long towards Bonner, but he can't control it, so it's now back with Adam Desbois. And he looks to find Bloomfield with the long ball, who wins the header. Ben Seymour will get onto that. He's moving very well now, Ben Seymour. Plays inside to Jake Gray inside the Slough box. Returns it to Seymour. Oh, he's well tackled, but it's gone out to Shane Dunn. Now is Dan Wishart. Few cries of shoot. Dan Wishart still on the ball, plays it out left to Piblado instead of shooting. Piblado crosses it in. Oh, it's a looping header. Oh, and it's out to John Thomas. Oh, he didn't quite get his foot over the ball. Well, that was good play there from Hampton and Richmond.
Yeah, and you could just see at the moment when you're switching it from side to side, we do have those extra men in the wide areas. The ball eventually falls to Jordan Thomas, and you could see we had a perfect shot of it. Just tried to get it on the volley, but that time he sliced it just a bit, but really promising stuff there for Hampton and Richmond. And I was one of those people asking Dan Wishart to shoot there.
Well, we know Dan Wishart has got it in his locker to do a strong long-range shot.
Yeah, cannon of a left foot, yet to score for Hampton and Richmond. Dan Wishart. Jordan Thomas has scored once this season. That was in the Beavers' 2-1 win at Chippenham in November. Shane Dunn doing well to win the ball off Ogbonna. He plays it to Fernandez, who clips it long towards Bloomfield. Well, Bayliss misses the ball.
Never a foul.
But he does very well to win the header, but he does only head it out for a corner kick to Hampton and Richmond on the right-hand side. The Beavers now growing into things just after the half-hour mark. Still 0-0. Well, this could be a good opportunity. It's Jake Gray who will take the corner on this right-hand side. Fernandez, Bloomfield, Revan and Piblado are all in the box. Gray clips it in. Oh, it's Fernandez who does get his head on the ball. But then it's booted away by Bayliss, out for a throw-in to the Beavers, about 20 yards into Slough's half on the left-hand side.
Slough Town are doing a really good job defensively at the moment. They are answering any questions that Hampton and Richmond are posing at the defence.
Throw-in has now been taken. It's with Isaac Piblado by the touchline. Plays it back to Wishart, who then helps it along to Fernandez, who clips it outright to Jordan Thomas, who is in space, although now he's under pressure by Lench, and it's good play by the number 8 for Slough Town, as he then won the ball off Thomas and then booted it against him to win his side a throw-in.
We just saw in that moment Mel Gwinnett looking directly at Louis Fernandez, applauding him for his efforts, because you see it when you do play that ball over the top. Jordan Thomas has space, and when you see Thomas in a one-on-one, you do fancy him often.
Thomas winning the header from Prosper's throw-in. So it's another throw-in to Slough. Well, there's a bit of shirt pull there on Revan, but the referee allows play to continue. Ball's been played long down the channel to Seymour. More up than out clearance from Bayliss. Bloomfield, who's got 2 Slough Town men on him. Lench is actually down and he's holding his face. Oh, and Mason Bloomfield has been cautioned there by the referee. I'm not entirely sure what for. It seemed like he was just going for the ball, like the other 2 players. Ooh. Bloomfield having a word with the referee.
There's another card coming out, I think.
I think she's just taking note of the fact that she's booked Bloomfield. Well, I'm not entirely sure what that was for.
It's a bit of a strange one, but we've heard, as we were in a really good position in the gantry, we've heard from minute 1, the Slough Town bench has been adamant at every challenge, asking for free kicks, asking for bookings, and maybe got in the refs here a bit there, because I'm not quite sure what Mason Bloomfield did wrong there.
No. Well, that makes 2 of us, and well, I think everyone in the stadium is kind
and
of...
3.
Yeah, everyone in the stadium.
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah. Anyway, Lench is now back on his feet. He was holding his face on the ground. Bloomfield still asking the referee what he actually did to deserve the yellow card, but he is now in the referee's notebook.
Also good to see, I think Ben Seymour now is
back in full flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those. He'll probably have a bit of a bruise in the morning, but he's still moving very well, or moving very well again. Now here's Jackman, the right back, about midway into Hampton and Richmond's half. It's now back with Siparion. Plays it outright to Ogbonna. And stood up by Wishart. Ogbonna gets across him with his left boot. Cleared away by Pitblado. Only as far as Lench, who takes the shot. Comfortable save for Adam Desbois. And Ben Seymour's making a darting run. He might be offside.
Yeah,
and yeah, he has been flagged offside. Yeah, he just didn't quite time it there. Seymour just made his move fraction of a second before Desbois booted it long. So here's a free kick to Slough Town, about 10 yards into their own half.
But we've seen that time and time again from Ben Seymour. That is what he's superb at. And just on that occasion, he was caught offside.
Yep, Seymour scored twice in the last game at Beverley Stadium. That was a 2-1 win for Hampton and Richmond against Western Supermare. Now Slough have the ball about 10 yards outside Hampton Richmond's box. Shane Dunn it looked like he was tripped there by Lench, but the referee let that one go, so it's a throw-in to Slough. Thrown down the line to Ogbonna. Wishart again is marshalling him. There's a good challenge there by Wishart. The Slough Town fans demanding a free kick, and then it just went out of play, so it's a goal kick to Hampton and Richmond.
Credit where credit is due for Slough Town. They have put some pretty good passes together and some really nifty footwork as well from the Slough Town players. And yeah, it's can't believe it's still 0-0 here.
Yep, the best chance of the first half falling to Ben Seymour just before the half-hour mark. He was out of nothing put through on goal and then put his shot wide, much to the surprise of everyone sat inside the Bev today. Isaac Pitblado just overran the ball, so here's a goal kick to Slough Town.
Yeah, and just to continue on Johnny's point about crediting Slough Town, David Ogbonna on that far side, he's constantly in battles with Dan Wishart. And to be fair to him, he's won a couple of them, and Dan Wishart is not an easy defender to go against. He's really pacey. But Ogbonna, his combination of skill and the pace of his own has been a real problem to deal with so far. But I mean, so far, so good for Dan Wishart.
Ball played long by Lincoln. Shane Dunn winning the header. It's now at the feet of Jackman, the right back. Plays it down the line to Siparion. Pitblado is jockeying him. Parion doing very well there. And his cross is blocked by Wishart, out for another corner to Slough on that right-hand side.
And these have been where Slough have been at their most dangerous in the first half. Free kicks and corners, set plays, dangerous balls into the box. And you see, once again, big number 5, Dan Bayliss is coming up.
Yeah, you're spot on, Lyle. I was just about to mention Dan Bayliss. He's the one you want to look out for, I think. But Slough Town do have a real aerial threat in the Hampton and Richmond penalty area.
Yeah, as well as Bayliss, there's Prosper, who's right by Adam Desbois. Lench will be the one to take the corner. See Parion, number 12, he's also in there. Lench now does take the corner. It's headed by number 16, Iwika, another aerial threat, but it goes harmlessly wide of Adam Desbois' goal.
Yeah, Slough Town are racking up the corner count at the moment, so Slough Town are having plenty of opportunities here, but not quite doing enough to get their noses in front here on New Year's Day at the Beverley Stadium.
Yeah, plenty of corners so far this afternoon, but no goals. It's Hampton and Richmond 0, Slough Town 0, coming up to 38 minutes. Well, Jake Gray might get there, and that's surely
Oh,
a handball by number 6, Prosper.
Oh, she's going into her book.
Yeah, the referee has booked number 6, Prosper. He did just slightly overstretch his arm. And a few animated protests from the Slough Town bench.
I mean, I have to echo their sentiments, because the shout from them was he wasn't even looking at the ball. And I think in that situation, it's definitely a handball, but he's gone up for the challenge. I'm not quite sure how you book a player for that. Going up for a challenge in a 50-50, it's difficult to keep both your arms down, and the fact that he's been booked, they'll feel hard done by that, but certainly a free kick in that position. And from around about 25-ish yards out, Jake Gray and Sam Dedfield, Shane Dunn over it. Man, I miss Sam Dedfield.
Shane Dunn and Isaac Pitblado. It does favour the left boot of Pitblado. Oh, it's taken short. It's to Ben Seymour, gets the cross in, intercepted by Davis, and well, it's not fully cleared away. Shane Dunn will look to cross it in. He does so. Headed by Ravan. Here's Fernandez now. Oh, and what a goal that would have been. It was a lovely touch, and then Swivel to take the shot with his left foot. It did drift pretty harmlessly wide, but good play there from Hampton and Richmond.
Yeah, intelligent set piece there by Hampton and Richmond, just to play in Ben Seymour, and the ball just trickled across the penalty box, and then straight to Louis Fernandez, and then the ball just slightly wide, so it remains 0-0 here.
Yeah, it's one of the most difficult finishes in football to execute. The first touch and then on the swivel. It's just a shame that he caught it on his weak foot, because we know what technical ability Louis Fernandez has, but that time just couldn't get it on target. Really good chance though.
Yeah, just before that free kick was taken, I saw Mel Gwynn at the Hampton and Richmond boss having a conversation with the assistant manager of Slough Town. I think both of them are united in their grief for having a player booked. Slough on the attack. Oh, and I'm not sure that's the correct decision. George Hunt penalised for a handball. So it is a free kick to the away side, about 30 yards from goal in a right-off central area.
This is starting to become a bit of a tasty end to this first half here. Both sides getting set pieces now. And it's going to be the player manager, Scott Davies, standing over this one as well.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be him who takes the free kick. Matt Lench is also stood over the ball.
Let me just remind you as well, Scott Davies got that free kick against Grimsby. And I think
that did not have the same effect. It sailed very comfortably over the bar. A few ironic jeers from the Hampton and Richmond faithful.
Yeah, it would have taken something really, sorry to cut you off, Johnny, would have taken something really special there to beat Adam Desbois from that distance.
No, don't apologise. No, that's that's absolutely fine. No, it's just Scott Davies, as we know, obviously, yeah, he's got that free kick ability in him, so you would expect he's going to get that on target.
Well, it was with Ben Seymour, but he was dispossessed. A bit of a late challenge by Shane Dunn on Lench. And he's been called over by the referee, Abigail Byrne.
I think he's certainly going to go into the book here, Shane Dunn.
Yeah.
It was one of those very, very smart fouls. The yellow card is out, but Shane Dunn had to make that challenge because, as you heard on the Slough Town bench, that's a tongue twister, that he just stopped that break because there were bodies flooding forward in sky blue for Slough.
Yeah, that's now 3 bookings this afternoon, 2 for Hampton and Richmond, Shane Dunn and Mason Bloomfield in the book, and Jean-Mal Prosper is the Slough player who's been booked. Free kick has now been taken. It's with Davis, who clips it towards Prosper. John Thomas just helping it out of play for a corner kick to Slough on the left-hand side this time. And with 42 minutes on the clock, this will be a very useful time for Slough to get their noses in front.
Yeah, and the deliveries of Matt Lench in this first half have been very, very good throughout. So again, it's another opportunity for Slough to get some danger on the Hampton goal, but we've defended them pretty well so far.
Yeah, the tall players in the Slough team currently in a very bunched up queue. Ravan, Wishart and Pitblad are dealing with it. They've now separated. It's Lench with the corner, headed away by Luis Fernandez, only as far out as Scott Davis, who clip it back into the box. It's headed by Slough. Bayliss now helps it along.
Nice.
And it's headed away by Hampton Richmond, only as far as Cipariol. Here's number 18, Sundyer. Looks to cross it in. Not really cleared away by George Hunt. Piplado does the job, although his clearance is more up than out. It's Lench who controls it, but he's dispossessed by Bloomfield. Now Ben Seymour will look to start an attack on the counter. Good pressing, though, by Lench, and the ball is now in the arms of Adam Desbois.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate there for Ben Seymour, because if he just had a look over his shoulder, Jake Gray was marauding down this right wing, but nonetheless, Hampton now back in possession.
Desbois, who's ventured out of his box, aiming for Bloomfield. It misses both Bloomfield and Bayliss, so now it's with Desbois' opposite number for the afternoon, Lincoln. So we're entering the final minute of the opening 45. Still Hampton and Richmond 0, Slough Town 0. Couple of chances for both sides, 1 or 2 penalty appeals as well for the visitors. No goals just yet. And Slough Town have been awarded a free kick just inside their own half.
Yeah, it is heating up, though, as we come to the end of the first half, though.
Taken by Scott Davis, but Piplado heads it away, finds Seymour, but he's dispossessed by Davis, making a lung-busting run down that right-hand side. He gets a good cross in, headed away by Thomas, only as far as Bayliss. I think weighed up a shot, instead he hooks it back in to the box, headed away by Fernandez. Bonner on the volley, that shot is blocked. Oh, and it's a shot taken by number 16, Uwika, and it's deflected wide, just wide of Adam Desbois' goal for another corner to Scott Davis's side.
Yeah, Hampton and Richmond just doing enough to keep Slough Town out at the moment, but Slough Town are knocking on the door.
We have now played 45 minutes, no indication of any added time, so this could be the last chance of the opening 45 as Lench takes it far, only as, well, it's still in the box actually. Jackman with a cross in, and now it's Lench with a shot, palmed away by Adam Desbois on the volley by Uwika. It's actually still in play. Lench has done very well to keep it in. Now it's Cipariol. Been jockeyed by Seymour. Parion takes the shot, blocked by Shane Dunn. Now Ben Seymour plays it through the legs of Ogbonna, but it's given away. All a bit scrappy for Hampton and Richmond. They're looking for that half-time whistle, I think. And now Shane Dunn, he just sold down with shot a little short, but his clearance is played against Jackman, so it's a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond. And still,
you would have thought there'd be some additional time coming, because obviously we had the stoppage in play for Ben Seymour, so...
Yeah, perhaps we have missed it, but it's certainly not been announced. We have played 46 minutes in this opening half. Still 0-0 between Hampton and Richmond and Slough Town.
Yeah, and I think it's just imperative at the moment that Hampton get their heels dug in and defend, going at the break at level still.
Cross in by Jackman, headed away by Wishart, and George Hunt heads it out for a throw-in. Still no sign that the referee is going to blow the whistle. So Slough Town are looking a bit menacing. And this is going to be a long throw-in, it seems, by Lench, because Bayliss has made his way into the box. It was a short one in the end. Lench crosses it in, headed away by Bloomfield, only as far out as Prosper, who looks to cross it back in, or it's left by a few Hampton and Richmond players. Jake Gray then takes responsibility. It doesn't fully clear it away. It's with Lench. Now Cipariol goes away from Mason Bloomfield, plays it across to the left back Prosper. Been stood up to by Thomas. Prosper then plays it across to Lench, who clips it in, aiming for Bayliss. Bayliss does get the header, but then Jake Gray hooks away the loose ball. Played 47.5 minutes in this first half. And now here's Piplado looking to play Ben Seymour, and it's just a bit too far in front of Hampton and Richmond's number 9. So it's now with Dan Lincoln. And there is the end of the first half. So it is Hampton and Richmond 0, Slough Town 0. No goals, but plenty of incident in this opening half. The away side did start the better. Leon Ciparion had a shot saved by Adam Desbois. Then one or two penalty appeals. The ball did appear to strike Mason Bloomfield on the arm just a moment later, but the referee did not award a penalty. Then the best chance of the game fell to Ben Seymour. Hampton and Richmond's fox in the box. He was played through by a very powerful Luis Fernandez header, but he put his shot wide with Dan Lincoln bearing down on him and then clattering into him after the shot was taken. Thankfully, Ben Seymour is okay. And then a couple more chances for Slough Town, including a header by number 9, Nathan Minas, which was saved by Adam Desbois. And Luis Fernandez also had a very well-crafted shot, which went just wide of goal. Now, I would say let's look at the scores on the doors, but there are no other games going on in the National League South right now. Hampton and Richmond v Slough Town is the early kickoff, so we're now just going to take a bit of a short break, and then a few minutes' time we'll talk about what happened in the first half and look forward to the second half. So, yeah, don't go anywhere. Well, welcome back to our live coverage of the National League South fixture between Hampton and Richmond and Slough Town. It is goalless. Both sets of players have just made their way back onto the pitch, but the second half hasn't quite started yet. So while we wait for that, we could have a little chat about the opening 45 minutes. No goals to speak of, but plenty of incident.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Slough Town have been the better side so far, having a lot more set-piece opportunities and have really tested the Hampton and Richmond defence. But Adam Desbois and the Hampton and Richmond defence have had all the answers to any questions that Slough Town have posed at Hampton and Richmond. But I think Ben Seymour has probably had the best chance of the game, though, when he was just one-on-one with the keeper, Dan Lincoln. And I think we're now going to be in for an exciting second half.
Yeah, I think most definitely the way that we've set up defensively, it's kind of held them to just set play opportunities, but it's also limited us going forward in what we can do. I think in the second half, very early on, we could see Josh Anafor coming on because we haven't had that bit of injection, that bit of drive going forward. The three midfielders that we have on today are all really technical players, but their first instinct when they get the ball is to get out and pass. We don't really have anyone at the moment that will get on the ball and just drive into the space, and I think that's a really good substitution we could possibly make as the referee looks ready, but we still have a couple of staff members, including Mel, just making their way across the pitch.
Yeah, and there's Sam Devfield there, a bit of a scar on his nose. Of course, he broke it on Boxing Day when Hampton and Richmond drew 3-3 at Slough Town.
True hero is our Sam Deadfield.
Absolutely.
Really putting his nose on the line to...
Is that a saying? But you know what?
We'll go with it.
It's 2024, but it's all about breaking new ground.
Yeah, just like Sam Deadfield broke his nose.
Right. Referee, can we start the game, please? And away we go. Yeah, that was all me, clearly. So the second half of Hampton and Richmond against Slough Town is underway. Ball out of play for a throw-in to the away side, who are shooting towards the Keith Hussey stand in the second half. Hampton and Richmond shooting towards the Alan Simpson OBE stand, as they often do in the second half when playing at home.
Also, just to know, it doesn't look like there have been any substitutions made at half-time.
No, and Mel Gwinnett has plenty of talent to call upon if he sees fit. Rory Donaldson, Rob Hall, and as Lyle mentioned, Joshua Anafawo's on the bench, as are Alfie Whittingham and Sam Dreyer. Ball is with number 9, Minas, who takes a speculative shot, but it is well over Adam Desbois' goal and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, this is certainly going to be a very interesting second half for Hampton and Richmond, as both sides are level at the moment, but Slough Town, certainly towards the end of the first half, were very much on top. But Hampton and Richmond are looking to start strongly themselves.
Adam Desbois has played every minute of every game this season for Hampton and Richmond so far. Aims for Bloomfield. It's Bayliss who beats him to the ball. Now it's Minhas who's chasing the ball, but Dominic Ravan is there to mop things up. Desbois plays it long towards Pit Blado, but it's headed away out for throw-in by Josh Jackman. Pit Blado throws it long to Bloomfield. It's having his shirt pulled by Jackman. Mel Gwinnett telling the referee about that, but play does continue. It's now with Ravan, who plays outright to Thomas, who has the ball in some space in Slough's half. And it's Jean-Mal Prosper who intercepts the pass. So it's a throw-in, which is taken quickly by Thomas. Another throw-in to Hampton Richmond. Prosper again making the challenge. About 25 yards from Slough's goal. Throwing down the line to Ben Seymour on this right flank. He plays it down the line to Thomas, and his cross has just strayed out of play for a goal kick. Mel Gwinnett handing out some words of encouragement to Mason Bloomfield, who has, to an extent, had to feed off scraps this afternoon. The goal kick is now pumped forward by Lincoln, headed away by Luis Fernandez, who provided what would have been quite an unexpected assist for Seymour had he stuck away that chance just before the half-hour mark. That was a good interception by Dominic Ravan. The ball is now on the left-hand side. It's Lench who has the ball. He'll take a shot of his left foot, blocked by Dunn, out for a corner to Slough Town.
Another set piece for Slough Town, and they've had plenty of opportunities now from a set piece to try and make something of it to put themselves in front. But Hampton and Richmond have done very well defensively to keep Slough Town out. And can they do it once again?
The Slough Town attackers are bunching themselves together, trying to confuse the Beavers defenders. Now they are separating. The corner's been taken in, punched away by Debar, only as far as Ogbonna. Plays it out to Lench, headed away by Seymour. The away side still applying the pressure. It's Lench again, clips it in this time to Prosper, headed away by Shane Dunn. Bayliss takes a shot, scuffs it completely, so Jordan Thomas just clears the ball away from danger, out for a throw-in to the away side on the right-hand side.
And just a word on Dominic Ravan. Already a couple of times to start the second half, he's been in really good positions, intercepted things well. In his first start, I think he's been really assured so far in these opening sort of 50 minutes of play here.
Yeah, Ravan making his full debut for Hampton and Richmond. He's a product of Aston Villa's academy, and we all know how well Aston Villa are doing this season. In fact, he captained the Aston Villa senior side when they played against Liverpool in the FA Cup in 2021. Villa being forced to play a lot of their academy players because of a COVID outbreak within the first team. It's a throw-in to visitors, which will be launched in by Lench, headed more up than out by Bloomfield. Hunt helps it along, but Ogbonna wins the ball back. Plays out right to Lench, who crosses it first time, headed away by Dan Wishart. Ben Seymour now has time on the ball, just plays it down the line, but no one really in support, so the Rebels have the ball back with their goalkeeper, Dan Lincoln. He clips it out right towards Lench, but Wishart intercepts it, and then he's clipped down, but referee waves play on. The referee's assistant getting an earful, but play does continue. It's with Lench, who was the player who went down, crosses it in, well intercepted by Pip Lardo, and Wishart has time to travel with the ball. Instead, he plays it long towards Bloomfield. Davis dummies it and does it very well, because he then headed it back towards Prosper. Now here's number 5, Bayliss.
Good pressure from Jordan Thomas.
Very good pirouetting by the Slough Town defender, although his clearance up the line wasn't what he would have wanted, so it's now a throw-in to the Beavers. Which will be taken by Jordan Thomas. Only really got Bloomfield in support and aims for him. It's Prosper who wins the ball back, and then Bloomfield, who is on a yellow card, remember. Bit of an unjust yellow card. We still don't really know what it was for, but he was penalised there for a foul on Prosper.
Yeah, 2 yellow cards for Hampton and Richmond so far, so just got to be careful and mindful that you certainly don't want to be going down to 10 men in a fixture like this, where Slough Town have certainly posed a threat.
Not at all. Shane Dunn, the other Hampton and Richmond player, to go into the referee's notebook. A free kick is taken by Lincoln, straight to Jordan Thomas, who heads it out of play for a throw-in to Slough. He'll be taken by Prosper. He's taking his time, though, just assessing all his options. Eventually he throws it towards Minhas, who controls the ball well with his chest. Dispossessed by George Hunt. Shane Dunn looking to press Matt Lench, but Lench is very composed on the ball and then sprays it out to the right back and captain Jackman. Now it's with Ogbonna. Good piece of skill to wriggle away from Pip Lardo. Ogbonna will now cross it in. Well cleared away by Shane Dunn, but it's only as far out as a corner to the away side.
Yeah, brilliant winger, David Ogbonna. That's a couple of times now already in the second half. He gets on the ball, shimmy, drop of the shoulder, gets away from Isaac Piplado, goes past him like he isn't even there, and eventually wins a corner, and it's more defending for the Beavers.
Ogbonna having a very good game in the reverse fixture just a few days ago, which finished 3-3. Corner now taken by Lench, headed up by Fernandez, still in the box. It's now Ogbonna on the volley, miscues it, but it's still with Slough. So Sundyer on the edge of the box. And a lovely save by Adam Desbois, who, well, the ball appeared to be heading for the top corner, but Adam Desbois not only got to it, but he managed to catch it in mid-air.
Goodness me, he really is like a panther, isn't he, Adam Desbois? He's got fantastic goalkeeping abilities.
Now that was what you call a Hollywood save. Now that save by Adam Desbois has just got the Bev on its feet. It was a bit quiet at the start of this second half. 54 minutes played, still Hampton and Richmond 0, Slough Town 0. Bloomfield penalised again there.
That's about 5 or 6 times that Mason Bloomfield has been penalised for a foul. And I think at times it's just a bit of jostling. And now I think the Slough Town players, every time they feel a touch off Mason Bloomfield, they're going to go down.
Yeah, not the best afternoon for Bloomfield, but as Lyle touched upon, he's not been helped by the officiating at certain points in this game. Anyway, the free kick will be taken by the Slough goalkeeper, Dan Lincoln. He plays it down the line towards Leon Parion. Now it's with Ben Seymour, who's upended there by number 16, Tammy Uweka. Hampton Richmond have been given a free kick, which is taken quickly. It's Bloomfield down the left-hand side. Lovely piece of skill to get away from Davis. Then he plays it back to Pip Blado. Now here's Shane Dunn. Not too many options for Dunn. He returns it to Pip Blado. Good triangle play between Dunn, Pip Blado and Hunt. And now Hunt. He goes down there, but then Lench slips, so Jake Gray now has the ball near the edge of the box. Plays out left to Pip Blado. Thought about putting a cross in. Instead, he plays it to Jake Gray, who does cross it in. Here's Bloomfield, headed away by Prosper. Now Minas, that's a good chest down to Lench, but Ravan read the movement there by Slough, and a bit of a uncertain back pass there by Ravan, but Desbois was fortunately very close. And it's now throw-in to Slough Town. I think Prosper thought he should have won a free kick there.
Mason Bloomfield doing so well just a few moments ago.
There's ball down the line to George Hunt. Can he get the cross in? It's a very good interception by Uweka. It is a corner kick to Hampton and Richmond, but if Uweka didn't make that intervention, I think that would have been a massive opportunity. Corner taken quickly. It's with George Hunt. Cross in by Shane Dunn. It is Fernandez Seymour. Great save by Dan Lincoln. There's a snapshot with the left foot of Ben Seymour, but full credit to Lincoln, who was equal to it.
Yeah, Seymour had a really good opportunity there, just get the shot away, but Dan Lincoln with a very strong save to keep the scores level.
It's 2 chances for Ben Seymour, Hampton Richmond's top scorer for the season this afternoon. Ball is still in play, actually. It's a bit of a late challenge on Mason Bloomfield. I think the Slough player on the ground is in a bit of a bad way. Hard to see who it is, but he's right on the edge of the barrier. And yeah, this doesn't look amazing.
Well, I hate to talk about it, but obviously this, where you've got the metal railing on the side there, Jackson, it does remind me slightly of the Alex Fletcher incident.
Yeah, well, he is sat up. I think it's Uweka who is sat up, so thankfully we don't have an incident of that kind of magnitude. And he is back on his feet. Play has been continuing, and Slough are on the counter-attack with Ogbonna on the right-hand side. Gets away from Dan Wishart, and then there's a bit of afters between the pair. Yeah, it's
just spicing up a little bit now, Jackson.
It certainly is. Ball is played down the line towards Ben Seymour. Scott Davis now goes down, and Ben Seymour has been penalised. Yeah, the referee is just losing a little bit of control of things.
See, that's the thing, because I'm not quite sure how Dan Wishart's challenge there wasn't a foul, and I'm not quite sure how Ben Seymour's there was a foul. I thought for sure Wishart kind of just sized down Ogbonna.
Yellow card also.
Yellow card for the assistant manager of Slough Town. I mean, that's not very surprising. He has been barking at the referee all afternoon, and while some of the decisions have been questionable, the way he's reacted to them has been a little bit over the top. Now, Matt Lynch giving his 2 pence to the referee as well. She's not having any of it, though. Free kick has now been taken by Lincoln. Ravan heads it away, not very far, though. Now it's with Ogbonna inside the Hampton and Richmond box. He backheels it back to Parion. Here's Minas, takes a shot, blocked by Ravan. Jordan Thomas then clears it away. There's Ueka, who had that nasty collision with the railings, who's back on his feet.
And looks like we might have our first substitution.
Yeah, it's Josh Anafoos who comes on for George Hunt, so more or less a like-for-like substitution.
Lyle, you called that early, didn't you?
Yeah.
Lyle for manager if Mel Gwinnett ever decides to leave, but we hope Mel leaving the club does not happen anytime soon, because it's just under a year since he's been at the club. He's made the club progress excellently on the pitch. Hampton Richmond second in the National League South going into today's game. It's a throw-in just taken by Jackman. And now here's Prosper, about 30 yards from the Hampton and Richmond goal, clips it outright to Ogbonna. Isaac Biblado is onto him. A couple of step-overs by Ogbonna. It was unlucky for Ogbonna, but also good defending by Biblado. Joshua Anafoos just loses it in a bad position. Here's Parion.
Steady.
Cleared away, only partially. Well, there's a good chance for the away side. It was Lench on the half volley. He probably should have done a bit better, the Slough number 8, but it does sail comfortably over Adam Desbois' goal.
Yeah, really good opportunity again for Slough Town in the Hampton and Richmond box, with the ball just skies over the bar.
Yeah, and I think just before they won the ball back there, it's just a bit of maybe inexperience there from Josh Anafoos. Got on the ball and tried to drive Hampton forward instead of maybe clearing it, but then again, if you take a positive spin on it, that's maybe what he's on to try and do.
Here's Bloomfield, plays it back to Anafoos, who clips it down the line to Pip Blado. He's tackled. Now the ball is in the middle third of the pitch. Shane Dunn doing well to beat number 18, Munash Sundar, to the ball. It's now throw in to the away side. Prosper playing it against Jordan Thomas. 61 minutes played. Hampton Richmond 0, Slough Town 0 is the scoreline. Both sides having one good chance each in this second half. Well, that's not a very good clearance by Bayliss. The ball just bobbling up there, so it's a cheap throw-in. Hampton and Richmond have one. It's Jordan Thomas who takes it about 15 yards into Slough's half. He's tackled, and it's another throw-in to Hampton Richmond, a bit further back this time. Bayliss then hoofs it high in the air. It's Fernandez who gets his head on it. Now Wishart gets another header on it, and here's Joshua Anafoos travelling with the ball. He's got Wishart in support. He tries to find Pip Blado, but it's Jackman who intercepts it, and now he does his own travelling towards the Hampton and Richmond halfway line. He gives it away to Pip Blado, then pokes the ball back to Fernandez. Unlucky, good effort with the skill by Anafoos, but he is tackled by Jackman. Now it's with Lench. And Ueka thumps it long, but he can't find Ogbonna. And Adam Desbois gratefully catches the ball. Yeah, Joshua Anafoos, a new signing for Hampton Richmond, signed from Dover, the 19-year-old midfielder, the product of Fulham's academy. He actually played for Oxford United as a or represented Oxford United as a professional, so he knows Rob Hall. And that looks like it's going to be a throw into Hampton and Richmond. It is on the left-hand side, about midway into Slough Town's half. It'll be taken by Pip Blado. Throws it short to Anifawos, and he returns it to Pip Blado. Now here's Mason Bloomfield. Just weighed up taking a shot, but he was closed down very well. Cross in by Pip Blado is headed away. Now is Fernandez. Just helps it into the mixer. Headed away by Bayliss. Shane Dunn now has it. Tries to calmly pass to Pip Blado. Doesn't quite reach its intended target. And now Sundar looks to play the ball down the line to Ogbonna, but Dan Wishart will beat him to the ball. And he's just shepherding the ball away from Ogbonna. Dan Wishart, he is so strong. And he plays a great ball out to Ben Seymour, but Uweka, well, clearing it out of the ground and into somebody's back garden. And a new ball is required. The throw-in will be taken by Pip Blard about midway into Slough Town's half on the left-hand side. Now here's Bloomfield.
He's never offside there.
Yeah, didn't look offside there, Bloomfield, but there were quite a few calls by the Slough Town defenders for offside, and quick as a flash, the referee's assistant put his flag up. Well, plenty of people inside the Bev this afternoon, 1,774 in attendance. Thank you to those who have attended. Thank you to those who are watching on YouTube and on National League TV. It's been a pretty entertaining game. Hopefully we can bring you some goals. But right now the game is goalless, and Fernandez boots the ball out of play and out of the ground, so we're going to need another new ball.
And I tell you what, from what Hampton have lacked in terms of real quality on the ball going forward, Louis Fernandez and Dom Revan this afternoon have been absolutely exceptional, the pair of them.
I think we also have to give a lot of credit to Adam Desbois as well.
Yep.
He's been fantastic in the sticks, keeping the scores level.
Yep, 5 clean sheets this season for Adam Desbois. The last one coming against Yeovil. Shot taken by Prosper. It was never really on that shot, and it drifts very comfortably wide of Desbois' goal.
See, based on being second in the table, you would have thought 5 clean sheets. Well, that doesn't quite add up, but
no.
I think certainly from the games we've had so far this season, I think those 5 clean sheets don't tell the real story.
Not at all. Yeah, Desbois has been an excellent signing for Hampton and Richmond. And he pumps it long to Bloomfield, who again is penalised for well, I think it was a nudge on Bayliss, but again, I think that was a slightly harsh decision there.
So as it stands, if the score stays as it is, it will be a repeat of New Year's Day of last year, when Hampton and Richmond had hosted Worthing here, and it ended 0-0.
Yep, that was also an end of an era, really. It was Gary McCann, former manager Gary McCann's last game in charge of the club. A few weeks later, Mel Gwinnett came in, and we're very happy Gwinnett is with us. In it to win it with Gwinnett.
Here all week.
Well, we're here for 25 minutes at the very least. It's 66 minutes on the clock. Still 0-0 between Hampton and Richmond and Slough Town. It's parry on with the ball, and it's pulled back just wide of goal. It was number 18, Munash Sundar, fizzing shot, whistling just wide of Adam Desbois' post.
Yeah, another opportunity there for Slough Town. Again, you could say Slough Town slightly on top at the moment, but there's still plenty of time in this match for the deadlock to be broken.
Desbois launches the ball forward, aiming for Pip Blado. Jackman wins the header, and Bayliss heads it again. There's Shane Dunn trying to hook the ball towards Ben Seymour. Bit of a bad clearance by Prosper. John Thomas crosses it in. Here's Joshua Anifawos. Oh, he didn't quite take the ball in his stride. His eyes lit up there. He has won the ball back, Anifawos.
He's
Plays
done
it
well.
to Bloomfield. Oh, there's a good tackle there by Prosper, and Slough should clear the ball away. It's with Matt Lynch. Oh, I thought that was going to be Joshua Anafawo's opening his account for Hampton Richmond, but yeah, he just couldn't quite get the shot away. Here's Ravan now, lovely bit of skill to get past Lynch. Plays it to Jake Gray, who's tackled, and it's a throw-in to Hampton Richmond on the right-hand side. That's got the Hampton Richmond faithful shouting a little bit more. So there's good pressure by Mel Gwinnett's side on Slough. Jake Gray takes the throw-in. Now is Jordan Thomas. Oh, he's done well to win a corner there. He was tackled by Scott Davis. So the corner on the right-hand side for the Beavers.
Yeah, that silky footwork from Dominic Ravan. Now it'll be a corner for the Beavers.
Which will be taken by Jake Gray, who clips it in quite low. Not really cleared away. Here's Shane Dunn inside the Slough box. He's not got a lot of support. Pitblado is now showing for it. And it's passed back to Isaac Pitblado. And he looks to get past Jackman. Jackman is defending resolutely and does well to win the ball. Now it's with Leon Siparion. Plays it to number 9, Nathan Minas. Siparion has carried on his run, but Wishart makes the interception. Siparion wins it back, and his cross to Ogbono is just a little bit over hit.
You've got him right there.
And now Adam Desbois plays it calmly out to Jake Gray. Maybe another change in the offing by Mel Gwinnett. Looks like Rory Donaldson is going to come on soon. That won't be for a couple of minutes if it does end up happening. Jordan Thomas with a throw in about midway into Hampton and Richmond's half on the right-hand side. Bloomfield helps the header on. And now it's Jackman who tries to play it to Minas. Wishart's clearance is only as far as Lynch. Now is Thomas. But he gives it away, and it's now with Scott Davis. Here's Prosper on the left-hand side for Slough. Lovely bit of skill to get away from Thomas. Prosper advancing into the box, crossing it in. It's over the Slough Town attackers. Now Lynch takes it first time. That's not going to trouble Adam Desbois at all. It's gone well over his crossbar.
Goodness me, Slough Town have had lots of opportunities now in this second half to get themselves in front, but just haven't been clinical in front of goal.
Well, both teams are going to make a change now. First, it's going to be the away side. Coming on is number 4, Joe Dandy, and he's on for number 12, Leon Siparion. And Rory Donaldson is also going to make his way onto the pitch, and this is going to be like for like, you'd assume. He's on for Isaac Pitblado, the flying Scotsman, Rory Donaldson.
Yeah, has a bit of a tough game today, Isaac Pitblado. Going forward, he's been sort of defended really well, and to be fair to him, he's done his defensive duties fairly well today, Isaac Pitblado. But I think with the substitution of Rory Donaldson, we could see, obviously, Rory pushes up really, really high and wide. Maybe, just maybe, we switch back to a back four, but certainly, as we see the position Rory takes up right on the edge of this wing back, I think he's coming on as an attacking substitution.
I certainly agree as well, Lyle. And also, we know Rory Donaldson, he's certainly one for getting the goals in. Rory Donaldson has already bagged himself a few this season already.
4 to be precise, including 2 at home to Hemel Hempstead early in December. That was a 2-1 win for Hampton and Richmond. Just a quick word on Isaac Pitblado. It's his birthday in 2 days' time.
Oh, so you're the birthday man, aren't you? You know all the birthdays. Do you know when my birthday is?
Oh yeah, yours is on the leap year in February. So
there you go.
Don't know when Lyle's is, but I will find out. Anyway, here's Lynch, who's crossing the ball in. It'll be Jordan Thomas who'll meet it, and he boots it long towards Bloomfield. Beaten to it by Scott Davis, but Bloomfield collects the second ball. Tries to find Ben Seymour. Now it's Minhas. Ogbono's in space on this left-hand side, just outside the Hampton Richmond box, and his shot is blocked by Fernandez. 1 or 2 shouts for a penalty. Didn't look like the ball hit Luis Fernandez's arm. and play does go on. It's with Uweka. Now Dandy. And Lench has it in the middle of the park. Plays it back to Bayliss. Now Scott Davis. His pass is intercepted by Revan. And now Ben Seymour. Well, he's retreated quite far from where he collected the ball and returned it to Revan in the end. Bloomfield surely pushed in the back there by Bayliss, but the referee says play on. And now here's number 18, Sundyer. And now Ogbonna on this left-hand side. Just a cut inside, great challenge there by Revan, and Shane Dunn collects the loose ball. Plays it back to Revan, who's barged to the ground by Ogbonna.
That is absolutely fantastic from Dominic Revan. First time to win the ball. When he gets it back, goes down, wins a foul really intelligently. And you cannot sing his praises enough for his performance so far today.
Yeah, 2 opportunities there for Slough Town. The game just opened up a little bit for them there. But Hampton and Richmond had the answers.
74 minutes played at Beverley Stadium. Still 0-0 between Hampton and Richmond and Slough Town. But you get the sense a goal is around the corner. But I think I've been sensing that for quite a few points in this game. It's a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond midway through Slough's half.
Could be one of those games where whoever gets the first goal will win it.
Yeah, here's Revan making a marauding run, tries to find Bloomfield, but it's just a bit too far to the side of the Hampton Richmond number 26.
Yep.
Wishart just bumped into by Minhas. Shaking of the hands of the 2 players. Good pass by Rory Donaldson to Seymour. Now it's Anafuos. Rory Donaldson has it again. Very close to that byline, but he gets the cross in. It's low and it's cleared away by Uweka. Only as far out as a throw-in to Hampton and Richmond, which Rory Donaldson takes quickly, plays it to Wishart. He'll cross it in, it's deflected.
Oh!
Falls to Bloomfield.
Oh!
He tried to get the shot away. It's blocked by Bayliss. Bayliss and Scott Davis protesting furiously. I don't really know what's at. The referee might be going into her notebook once again.
She is. Abigail
Byrne. Yep, she's booked number 5, Dan Bayliss, and it was a furious reaction to I don't really know what, so I think that is more than justified booking for the defender. Anyway, it's a corner to Hampton and Richmond on the left-hand side. Jake Gray will take it. Swings it in. Bloomfield! Oh, he's missed it. And for Wose! It's in! Hampton and Richmond have taken the lead. It's Joshua Anafuos with his first goal for the Beavers. And well, with less than 50 minutes of the 90 minutes to play, it could be a New Year's Day victory for Mel Gwinnett's side.
Anafuos opens up his account for Hampton and Richmond on the turn of the year. What a goal by Hampton and Richmond.
I tell you what, it's absolutely fantastic. The delivery in first time, you heard it from Jackson. We exclaimed Bloomfield because we thought he had a chance to put it into the back of the net. The ball is cleared from Slough Town, and we had a perfect view. Anafo was running onto it, and initially you thought maybe he tried to put some power on it. Composure, cool, calm, and collected, opens his body up and slots it into that bottom corner. Absolutely fantastic from the 19-year-old. What a substitution from Mel Gwinnett.
Absolutely, just a few minutes after coming on to the pitch, Anafuos gets what could just be the winning goal, but there is still some time to play. We've played 77 minutes at Beverley Stadium. It's Hampton Richmond 1, Slough Town 0 as play does get underway once again. Scott Davis trying to do it all himself. He goes down. Definitely no contact on the ball, despite the furious protests from everyone associated with Slough Town. Yeah, just going back to the goal, Lyle. The temptation would have been to just smack it as hard as he can. Hampton Richmond might get a second now. Here's Jordan Thomas on this right-hand side. Plays it. Well, tried to play it down the line to Bloomfield, but it was well intercepted by Bayliss. So throw in now to the away side. Shane Dunn tackling David Ogbonna. A few younger fans for Hampton and Richmond demanding for a second goal. Chance of we want 2. I mean, I will be happy with just 1-0, though, but if you can get a second, brilliant.
I think on the balance of the game so far, you certainly would take 1-0 on the basis of Slough Town. Credit where credit is due to Slough. They have had plenty of opportunities, but Hampton and Richmond have got their noses in front. And only a few moments ago, I do get the feeling that whoever gets the first goal might go on to win this.
Yeah, we were both saying, feels like a goal's around the corner, and it actually happened this time.
Yeah.
There is a goal kick to Hampton and Richmond. Slough's attack not really amounting to anything. And Debar launched it long towards Bloomfield. He leaves it. Donaldson tries to pounce on the loose ball. Ben Seymour has won the ball off Lench, and he's upended there by Uweka. Oh, a bit of artifice between Seymour and Uweka.
Steady.
Uweka was giving him a little nudge repeatedly with his leg when he was down on the floor. So Ben Seymour had every right to be aggrieved. He's just been dragged away by Luis Fernandez. Tammy Uweka has been given a firm talking to by the referee. Now Ben Seymour has been called over.
I think the sensible thing here is just a talking to for both, no bookings, because it's just one of those kind of comings together. And I think maybe, just maybe, that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I think you're right, Lyle.
A little handshake there between Ben Seymour and Tammy Uweka, which is nice to see. Hampton Richmond have a free kick on the left-hand side. It's Jake Gray who stood over the ball. He'll look to whip it in to the likes of Mason Bloomfield or Rory Donaldson or Luis Fernandez, maybe Ben Seymour as well. The goal scorer Joshua Anafoes is not in the box. Gray swings it in. Fernandez at the back post. It's headed behind by a Slough Town defender. So here's a corner to Hampton and Richmond. It was Uweka who was in that brief confrontation with Seymour before the free kick, who headed it behind. John Thomas takes it quickly. It's now Jake Gray inside the Slough box. Well blocked by Ogbono. It's another corner to Hampton and Richmond.
And there is always the threat of a counter-attack here, because there is only one player back for Hampton and Richmond, although that player is Dan Wishart. So do still remain confident that should the ball break, we should be all right.
No hint of a short corner here. Gray clips it in. Fernandez going for the header. It's headed away by Bayliss. Out to Gray. Crosses it in once again. Fernandez is just a bit too high for him, and Uweka runs onto the ball and will travel. He's motoring down that right-hand side.
Yes, Louis.
Challenged there by Luis Fernandez. And the ball is then cleared away by Adam Debar. Uweka just getting himself into a little tangle with Fernandez this time. And the away side are going to make their third change of the afternoon. It's number 6, Jean-Mal Prosper, who's coming off for Slavy Spazov. And number 14, Scott Davis, the player manager. He's coming on for him is Gary Abisogan. And Johnny's was Davis kicking the ball against a little fence by the dugout there.
Yeah, Scott Davis there, just showing his anger.
He certainly is, and well, maybe I'm sure he will be quite angry, because the game is getting away from his side. Hampton Richmond are a goal to the good. Strike coming courtesy of Joshua Anafoos on 76 minutes. We are in the final 10 minutes of the 90. Here's Uweka, being pressurised by Ben Seymour. Now it's Sundar, who clips it out left to Lench. It's headed away by Rory Donaldson. Now Anafoos clips it to Ben Seymour, and Seymour then returns it to Anafoos just inside Slough Town's half on the left-hand side. Very composed by Anafoos, and it's a lovely crossfield ball to Thomas, who should get there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
That's fantastic play by the goal scorer. Here's Jordan Thomas on the right-hand side. He plays it back to Dominic Ravan, and he plays it to his fellow new signing, Anafoos. Lovely pirouette by Anafoos. And then he is tackled by Sundar, but Hampton Richmond have won the ball back with Shane Dunn, who's really come into his own in the second half. So a very solid performance by the Irish midfielder. Clips it to Mason Bloomfield. That is, well, he's been flagged offside, but I really don't think it was. I think the referee's assistant was a bit feeling the pressure maybe to put his flag up.
Well, Joshua Anafawoes is really showing his quality at the moment, and precisely why Mel Gwinnett has signed him. He's changed this game. He's turned it around for Hampton and Richmond.
Absolutely. Giving that midfield the sparkle that maybe it didn't quite have in that first half. And now so headed towards Ogbonna, but Adam Debois is quickly off his line. 83 minutes on the clock now. Hampton Richmond 1, Slough Town 0. Probably will be a few minutes added on at the end of the game. Debois launched it long. It's won by Slough Town now. Here's Lench on the left-hand side. He cuts inside and plays it to defender Tammy Uweka. He has support from Joe Dandy, who now receives the ball, plays it down the line towards number 7, Gary Abisagun, who has just come on, but he can't get to it, so it's a goal kick to Hampton and Richmond.
Not too long to go now in this second half. And Hampton and Richmond 1-0 up, courtesy of Josh Anafawoes.
Yeah, it's he really injected some magic into this game. It was a very, very composed finish by Anafawoes. John Thomas beating Ogbonna to the ball and then winning a 50-50 challenge against Sundar. Here's Anafawoes, plays it to Bloomfield, who helps it along to Jake Gray on the right, who crosses it in deep, probably just a bit too deep for the on-rushing Anafawoes.
Good footwork as well from Josh Anafawoes.
Oh, and there's a yellow card for the goal scorer. It was, a bit cheeky from him. As the ball went out, he then passed it back to one of the Hampton and Richmond fans. So there's a bit of time wasting there from Anafawoes. He's been absolutely everywhere so far. That's 3 bookings now in this game for Hampton and Richmond. Mel Gwinnett just having a word with both Rob Hall and James Comley. Doesn't look like Rob Hall is going to come on just yet. He's certainly got his tracksuit on. Of course, Rob Hall is learning the art of coaching as well as playing for Hampton and Richmond. So maybe they're talking tactics rather than talking about how he's going to come on and affect the game. If he does come on, he won't have a lot of time because it's 85 minutes played now. Still 1-0 to Hampton and Richmond. That goal coming on 76 minutes. Long ball played towards number 13, Spazov. Does well to keep it in. Cross comes in from the left. Wishart heads it away. And he needed to because Abisagun was lurking in the background, ready to put it into the net. It is a throw-in to the away side. Lench will launch it in. Bayliss, the big centre-back, has made his way into the box, headed by Rory Donaldson. And then it's a header by number 9, Minhas, who gets a header, but it's a pretty easy catch for Adam Debois.
I mean, with only a few more minutes to go now, who would you say, gents, is your man of the match?
Well,
I think if you want my opinion, I think I would give it to Adam Debois personally. I think he's made some excellent saves,
especially that one which he caught and retained mid-air.
Absolutely,
that was a very good. I'm going to give it to Dominic Ravan. Actually, I think Hampton Richmond defended very, very well. Ravan has been very classy at the back.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Jackson. I think he's been imperious back there, but certainly in terms of performances for Hampton, it's their defence and their goalkeeper that have been the standouts, as well as, of course, Josh Anafawoes.
Yeah, well, the only reason I haven't really given it to Anafawoes is because he's not been on the pitch. Oh, it's fantastic skill. He's taken on 4 Slough defenders. He then does give it away, but wins it back. And yeah, well, he's won a free kick. That's superb play by the Hampton and Richmond goal scorer.
It's absolutely inspired stuff from Josh Anafawoes. As you said, 1v4, he flies in with a challenge, wins it back, good bit of footwork, loses it, and then wins it again, and eventually gets the free kick off the handball. And that's the desire that you need when you come off the bench. Try and make an impact, and he has.
In his interview of the club upon signing for Hampton and Richmond, he says he wants fans to wake up and think Josh is going to do something good today. Well, he's certainly on the right track to getting fans to think like that, because he's been outstanding ever since he came on. Anyway, it's a free kick to Hampton Richmond, which will be taken by Jake Gray. Whips it in. It's headed away by Dandy. Number 18, Sundar, will travel with the ball on the left-hand side. Hampton Richmond have got to get back in numbers. Sundar still on the ball, plays it outright to Dandy. Now it's number 7, Abisagun. Plays it back back to Lench. Crosses it in. And it's headed in.
Good goal.
An equaliser for the away side. It's number 13, the substitute, Slavy Spazov. There's a fantastic cross by Lench, and there was Spazov just to rise highest and nod it beyond Adam Desbois. Not a lot of time to go, 88 minutes on the clock, and it's Hampton and Richmond 1, Slough Town 1.
Yeah, no, good opportunity there from Slough Town, and they put it in the back of the net. I mean, you have to say, I think Slough Town, you could say they did deserve something from the way they have been playing, but it's now, we're back to level terms.
And you cannot say enough about that cross from Lynch. It was inch perfect, and so many times in this game we see crosses going to the box and they've been defended well from Hampton, and it wasn't exactly the fact that we defended that particularly badly. I just think Luis Fernandez was in decent position, but it's a perfect cross and a really good header.
Yep, 1-1 now, and play has resumed. It's headed out of play by Jackman, who's now playing at left back. John Thomas just been told to go back a few yards to throw into Hampton Richmond, just inside Hampton Richmond's half on their right-hand side. We are in the final minute of the 90. Anifowos has the ball back, gets past number 18 Sundar, and then wins a throw-in about 20 yards into Slough Town's half. Now here's Jordan Thomas, 4 added minutes at the end of this game. And Richmond looking to find that winning goal. Here's Anifowos on the right-hand side. He's got space to travel in. He crosses it. It's Seymour! Yes! Richmond 2-1 up! Joshua Anifowos with a great cross. And there's Ben Seymour, 14th goal of the season. Hampton Richmond 2, Slough Town 1.
Ben Seymour with the Sioux!
I'll tell you what, the kid is absolutely magic. Josh Anifowos take a bow, son, wins the ball on the right side, gets it under control, and just as we saw the cross on the other end from Matt Lynch, it's an inch perfect pass from Josh Anifowos. Ben Seymour ghosted in. He didn't even have to do much. He sort of stood there on the penalty spot inside the 6-yard box. Simple tap in, simple goal. Hampton and Richmond lead once more.
Well, there was late drama at Arbor Park. It was Hampton and Richmond on the rough end of it, but this time it looks like Hampton and Richmond are on the right end of this late drama. They're now 2-1 up, a minute into added time. And well, Ben Seymour, that was his final contribution towards the game, because he is now going to come off. Sam Dreyer, the defender, is coming on in his place.
And I'll tell you what, lads, all 3 of us were wrong about man of the match. There's no doubt about it. It's Josh Anifowos.
I would like, no offense to Dominic Ravan, but I would like to withdraw my statement and give it to Joshua Anifowos. He's only been on the pitch about 25 minutes. Sam Dreyer has now made his way on, and it's definitely 5 at the back now for Hampton and Richmond, that's for sure.
Certainly, Mel Gwinnett making that change. Hampton and Richmond are going to see this game out now, we hope.
Yeah, so played just under 2 of the additional 4 added minutes. There probably will be some time added on to take into account Ben Seymour's goal. Here's Anifowos, the magic man, clips it out towards Mason Bloomfield, headed away by Bayliss. Donaldson has now got it. Here's Jordan Thomas. Plays it down line towards Jake Gray. That corner flag sure does look tempting for Hampton Richmond's captain. Instead, he plays it back to Rory Donaldson. He whips it in. Oof. And it's gone quite far wide of goal. Ambitious effort by Hampton Richmond's number 3.
I still haven't calmed down after that. That was just an incredible opportunity for Hampton Richmond to get themselves back in front, and they have Ben Seymour. He's looking at that National League South top goal scorers list, and he thinks, I'm going to keep on climbing that.
Well, it's 14 in all competitions for Ben Seymour this season, 12 in the National League South, so he is firmly in the hunt Shane Dunn booting it long, didn't find a teammate, so it's back with the Slough goalkeeper, Lincoln, who then launched it long towards Bayliss. Fernandez brilliantly winning the header, but it's only as far out as Ogbonna. Now it's Jackman on the left-hand side. Just checks his run, plays it back to Lench, who crosses it in, and it's caught by Adam Desbois. It was a good leave by both Dominic Ravan and Luis Fernandez, who is holding his shoulder. He did win that header just about 30 seconds ago and landed a bit awkwardly, but fair play to Fernandez for soldiering on.
Adam, the Panther, Desbois, again with a fantastic save to keep Hampton and Richmond in front.
We're in the final minute of added time, but as I said, there probably will be another minute or so added on because Ben Seymour scored in the first minute of stoppage time. Bloomfield penalised for a foul on Ueka. Free kick quickly taken. And it's with Matt Lench, who's been chased down by Bloomfield. Bloomfield not really... Oh, it was a great run by Lench, and he's just overrun. It was good defending by Dan Wish. I just to almost intimidate him into not putting his foot on the ball. So it's a throw-in to Hampton Richmond. We have now played 4 minutes of stoppage time. Dan Wishart taking the throw-in. Bloomfield being held there by Abisagun. Now it's with Lench. Donaldson tackles him. He could take a shot. He does take a shot with his right foot. It has drifted just wide of goal. I think that if that was on his preferred left foot, then that would have been on target, but Donaldson will have to wait for his 5th goal of the season. Surely not long now until the end of the game. Lincoln pumps it long, headed by Sam Dreyer. So it's a throw-in to the away side. It's 13, Spazov, who got their equalising goal on 88 minutes, who just lets Joe Dandy take it. There is Dandy, headed away by Donaldson. Dandy then helps it back in, headed away by Dominic Ravan. He's been brilliant today.
Get in!
Come on!
And that's the end of the game. Well, what a thrilling end at Beverley Stadium. It's finished Hampton and Richmond 2, Slough Town 1. Ben Seymour with a stoppage time winner, his 14th goal of the season, proving to be the decisive moment. It looked like Hampton Richmond were going to have to settle for a 2nd straight draw against Slough Town after Slavi Spazov equalised on 88 minutes. But fantastic play by Joshua Anafuos, who scored the 1st goal of the game, to find Ben Seymour, who made no mistake from less than 6 yards out to give Hampton and Richmond another win. And it's now 17 games unbeaten for Mel Gwinnett's side. We're starting 2024 as we ended 2023. What a time to be associated with Hampton and Richmond. Jonny, your final thoughts?
Jackson, I'm almost speechless. That is just like... for Hampton and Richmond to get back in the game like that, courtesy of that Josh Anafuos' pass, and Ben Seymour was there to put it in the back of the net. Like you say, Jackson, 17 unbeaten now. Well, over to you, Southampton, as you take on Norwich City at Carrow Road this afternoon. I mean, Hampton and Richmond are just playing with such flair and desire, and the players are just so hungry to keep this run going. We're doing absolutely fantastic. What more else can be said?
And Lyle, your thoughts?
I'll tell you what, on the balance of the game, Slough Town will feel so unlucky because for a majority of that game, they played really well. In the first half especially, I think they were the better of the two sides.
Yeah.
And Mel Gwinnett clearly saw that. And I'll tell you what, as far as substitutions go, you cannot get it much better than that. As soon as Josh Anafuos came on in that second half and he got on the ball a bit, you sort of got that feeling in the stadium that there was only going to be one winner of this game. And for that lad at 19 years old, one of his first games for the club, new signing, coming on and almost single-handedly turning things around for Hampton and Richmond. He was fantastic. All the lads were fantastic, defending it brilliantly. Ravan, brilliant. Desbois, brilliant. Fernandez, brilliant. So many good performances. Overall, you cannot ask for much. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year indeed. I know I'm going to be dreaming about Joshua Anafuos tonight because he was absolutely brilliant in the 25 minutes or so he was on the pitch. And maybe now Hampton and Richmond will be dreaming of promotion. There's still a long way to go, but they solidify their place in 2nd spot in the National League South. There's still many more games to be occurring in the division later this afternoon. Again, I would say announce the scores, but lots of the games haven't even started yet. But it does not look half bad for Hampton and Richmond in the National League South table. How many points is that now? 46, 6 points clear of third place Bath, but of course, many teams below Hampton and Richmond are to play in a few minutes' time. Well, I think that's a good place to end the broadcast on YouTube and National League TV. Thank you for those who were watching in what was a thrilling end on New Year's Day. It's finished Hampton and Richmond 2, Slough Town 1. Goodbye for now.